Hey everyone, so a while back I decided to turn my bedroom into my gaming room. I even made a video showing the transformation, which I'll leave a link below. While I loved it, it was a little too cramped and extremely warm, so I decided I needed a new space. So our dining room was kind of being used for a sort of family game room, but barely got used. So in this video I'm going to basically show you how I took this room and turned it into my dream gaming room / studio. But first, it looked kind of old-fashioned, so I had to kind of make it a little more modern and functional. So with all that, I decided I had to come up with a plan. So the first thing I did was using an AI room design app, which I'll leave the description below. I came up with a general concept for the room. The first order of business was taking off the wainscoting from the walls. That's basically those small panels that are on the sides of the walls that you noticed before. And no, I did not know the name either. My brother who actually told me what it was. So while working on that, I decided to place some things for order that I was going to need. So the next stop for us was to Home Depot. Pick up some paint and tools that I was going to need. I was even able to pick up a new 65-inch TV at Walmart for a steal. But, of course, nothing can come easy, and getting that TV home and those wall panels in my sedan was, well... So, when I found out that I needed a third panel, wasn't going to do that again, so I decided to go online for this one. Anyways, after about pretty much the entire night, we were finally able to get all the wainscoting off the walls, and we started to put putty on it and smoothing it out with a lot of sanding. Definitely want to give a shout out to my daughter-in-law, because without her, probably would have been there for an extra day doing that. But by the next morning, we were all done with that stuff, so it was about time to start painting. After doing the first coat, the room was definitely starting to look a little different, which I was pretty excited about. But we knew that we were probably going to need a lot more coats of paint if we wanted to get it to exactly what I wanted it to be. And sure enough, after we did about 2 more coats of paint, finished product turned out pretty great. And while I do have to say I thought it had a little bit more blue in it than I wanted to, I ended up kind of growing on me. So after that, I started moving some of the furniture back inside the room, and it actually felt pretty big. I thought it was going to be a little cramped with all the stuff, but obviously compared to the closet, it was a lot bigger anyways. I was also able to measure and mount the TV, and don't worry about those wires. We're going to get those out of the way sooner or later. So after a couple days, the packages finally started getting in. First thing I got was these white shelves, which I think are really nice. They were actually pretty cheap too. And then the second thing I got was the actual TV stand, the floating TV stand, which definitely had a lot more pieces than the other part, but still wasn't too hard to put together. Finally, the last big thing that I received was my display case. That one was a little more difficult to put together, but I think it ended up turning out really good in the end. So after a lot of trial and error, I was finally able to get the TV stand mounted onto the wall. And yes, I did hide all the wires, which I think turned out really well. The only thing I would probably say is I wouldn't recommend getting the same ones I did, considering there's 2 different pieces. I would probably stick to getting one long one. The next step was basically going to be putting the panels on the walls, which shouldn't take too long.
2,000 years later.
But anyways, finally got the panels on, and I think it came out pretty amazing. Honestly, it's probably my favorite part of the room so far, and I really do love that wall. Alright guys, so if you watched this long, please do me a favor, like the video, share it if you can, subscribe, it really helps out. And with all that out of the way, basically this is how the room turned out.
Pulled up to the set when I heard that brutal sound of the bass. Start to feel like I'm dreaming, man, should have seen that look on my face. But I'm so low-key, I'm an anonymous G that I left no trace. But when I step 1 foot in the room, I'ma set this pace. I feel like king of the hill when they never gonna rise up when I shut this down. I feel like king of the hill when they're never gonna take my crown. That's the type of my sound. Better rise up when I drop this.